Hey, baby dolls. Breaking news. Elon Musk has sold $373 million of his Bitcoin, erasing what they had previously. And also, just to add the fuel to the fire, unfortunately, Evergrande has defaulted again, which is a 2021 news story. What is going on there? We're going to enjoy this cute little doggy, friends. I just want to apologize to everybody for existing in this world because, man, it sucks. You wake up, you're just trying to exist. And you're like, okay, down 21%. See you later. This in this industry, friends, it can cause a lot of mental health issues. There is a lot of pain, destruction, and disaster when it comes to this. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We have been here before. I'm going to show you my posts. So we have Bitcoin here. This is the weekly super trend. I'll actually bring it up for you right now so we can just observe what's going on this big time frame. We're still in the green. We are still in the green, but obviously, friends, just be careful of getting any hope in any of these circumstances. You can wake up any day, something weird happens, something blew up. Yay, China defaulted again for the second time. What's going on there? You can never really predict these, friends. Elon Musk news, a lot of people getting leveraged. If you'd like to know as well, something interesting, on the way down, so if we go down here, on the way down, this was what I was just seeing on Twitter. As we were going down, people kept adding to their longs. They kept adding and adding. And there's something called open interest. So you see this indicator, which was like rising, which basically says that more and more people are increasing their position size as we went down. And that basically tells you a lot of people just adding to their positions. Every time someone's market setting, there's people just leaving their bids and they're not getting out. So this always is a recipe for disaster because everybody uses way too much leverage, and then we have these absolute wipe. Now, it's very scary to think a big blue chip like Ethereum. Like, why the hell did you go down to 1460 when you were literally just 1800 a few days ago? What are you doing? This is just markets, friends. This is markets. That's why looking at these short-term timeframes, you'll never believe the markets go up ever. But if I bring your attention to the weekly chart on Ethereum, now this doesn't have a super trend on here, but you can see this red candle, what we see where the green arrow is, that's what's happened today. So all that news, all that stuff has happened today. So if you look to your left, you'll see, yeah, there were bigger bouts of destruction here, but they were like functions of the volatility at the time. So to me, of course, it just doesn't feel like we should be going more down than this. Like, of course we can go down and grind around, but we're in 2023 now, so I'm going to draw a vertical line here. We're in 2023, right? 2023. Everything in 2022, bad, evil, dark, shadows. But now we're in 2023, friends. In 2022, yeah, it was poopy town. But in 2023, there's more blue chip stuff out. There's more upgrades, more networks are being pushed up. We have the ETF coming around. It's just a different season. It's a different season. So it is what it is. If you were to purely make moves off news and sentiment, you would probably think, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't really spook me. But hey, at the end of the day, it comes down to stonks. It's always that dreaded stonk market, you know? The percentage isn't that much. I mean, like, oh, wow, down 2% is actually big for the stock market. But I think everybody's got jitters because you put the stock market on a weekly chart. We are around this retracement zone. When you go all the way down, I know BCB likes to do this a lot. You go down the 61 to 70% retracement zone. Always a lot of trouble happens here every single time. So the market's got to battle through and do what it does. But you know, at the end of the day, you can look for 1,000 reasons. Doesn't really matter. Not at all. Because Sir Elon Musk, right, selling off his $370 million of Bitcoin. They spoke about writing down the value of Bitcoin held. Remember, they were in 2021. Now, if I recall, they sold something roughly 75% of their Bitcoin. And I remember exactly where they sold. That's why, friends, I'm the only friend you have here. They sold it here. When they cracked back below 28K, they got rid of it. And Elon Musk was like, yeah, I still support it, but yeah, not really. And then they've finally gotten rid of it. But Tesla, Elon Musk, if I was just to guess why they did it, personally, I think he actually tried to use Bitcoin. That's what I think. I feel like he tried to use it and he saw it was really slow. You couldn't do anything with it. And he's trying to use the Twitter platform, Twitter X, and he probably wants to check out payments. And he's probably looking at it like, man, this thing's pretty slow. Like, what can I really use it for, right? To get rich? Well, I'm already rich. That's why I kind of feel like he's made this executive decision to do that and probably use the cash elsewhere. And don't forget, the way these people think, friends, is they might be looking at Twitter. He might be saying, hey, if if I invested 300 million into Twitter, right, I could probably yield maybe 3 billion extra market cap value out of Twitter itself. So that's how they think about it. They think, where can I put this 300 million, get it to work, and try to increase it at 10x? You know, maybe he's thinking there's no chance Bitcoin's 300K. That's probably where their mindsets are, even though they'll never really tell you all the full answers. But that's how you got to think about investing. It's just allocating capital, right? Capital is a scarce resource. You know, and I want to bring this to your attention, friends. Now, this is one of my posts. It was a scheduled post from before. So it's not updated to include Richard Hart coins, right? But you can see all of them here. The SEC going after all these coins, all right? It's going after all of them. This is a good picture. I was looking for this picture. I'm glad it randomly came up for a scheduled post here. Look at all these coins the SEC is going after. They basically just want to collect the fine of everybody, scare the industry, and do everything. So I'm just letting you know, the SEC going after these altcoins, it is an evil institution. It is funded by the US Fed. That's right. That's the banking cartel themselves, okay? There are many altcoins to hold, so don't lock yourself into excessive risk when you don't have to. A lot of these coins, friends, unfortunately as well, there's many here where, even though they're targeted by the SEC, to make things worse, I mean, Dash is dead, VGX, ICP, Flow, just dump. A lot of these are unlocking tokens. You have the Decentraland, you have, you know, these sandbox metaverse type of things that are 2021 narratives. The unlocks are coming. These are all very short-term impulse people. You got to see a community. Is there a community? You have to point to them. You have to tell me their names. Are they streamers? Do you see them on YouTube? And don't forget, like, subscribe, bell button, all friends. I'm here to bring you the juiciest, latest, hottest information all for you. So think about this. The SEC is attacking the whole industry. Do you remember back in the day, 2020, right, when they just attacked XRP? Now they're coming after everybody. There were also some jitters that the judge ruled against. Ruled for the appeal, so for the SEC, but the Ripple CEO, Brad Garlic Breath, Mr. Garlic Breath said that, you know, it's basically FUD, and don't believe any of the ruling stuff, because it's going to be worded in a way to make it look like that they can rule it as security, but it's not. So that's just something to keep in mind. But of course, no one's going to read through those finer details. The market just does what it's going to do. You know what? I think now it's a good time for us to go back and see. So let's look at this candle, for example, for this is Bitcoin, right? 12%. Now, Bitcoin's got lower volatility, more blue chip. But if we go back to the previous Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle, so not the one we just had, let's go to the Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle. So yeah, look, let's go through this scenario just in case. A lot of people will still think about 2018, 2019, this period, 2019 to 2020. And the difference with this cycle was the plus token Ponzi really thrusted us up. It actually gave euphoria again. It made people believe we were going to break the all-time high. Now, when Bitcoin ran to 30K, I specifically remember no one on Twitter believed all-time high was coming. Many people I was speaking to, there was none of these huge Moonboy calls. Everybody was very contained. We were like, nah, it's going to stop soon. There's resistance here. So that's something to keep in mind. We never hit euphoria, and you know that as well. Everyone was like, no, it's all a scam, and we're getting destroyed again. But if we go back to 2015, 2016, that Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle, if we have a look at, these are weekly candles, by the way, if we have a look at the price action, it grinded along my 21 EMA, these golden ropes. It grinded along it. Now, if we go back quickly to what we're doing today, we've like punched through it a bit. But, I mean, there is still time. There is still time for it to close. You can't get these things exact. That's why, friends, these moving averages, man, you can use a 21 day, use a 40 for next week, and you make them bounce. It doesn't really matter. You just got to look at the overall trend altogether. So we are still green, right? We still flipped green, and we're going to see how we finish maybe the next few weeks. But it has had occurrences where we just poke down, right? We get like very nasty red, and then we continue again. So we had like a situation here, right? You had situations here where it just goes red and it just kind of dies and grinds up. That's something to think about. This was the Bitcoin halvening rally, by the way. So this vertical line is the Bitcoin halvening. And what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to see, were there periods of time where it looked like it was over, right? And of course there were. Look at this. You're just like, it's over. We can't bounce. You're looking at this candle right here. So there are these periods where it just dies and you think, well, it's never going to go back again. And just to remind you, Bitcoin here is $400. So for 380 to 440, it looks like it's never ever going to go anywhere. 450 still looks like it'll never go up, and then it starts punching up into the Bitcoin halvening, which was July 2016. So that's also a possible occurrence for us when we're looking at, what are the possibilities for us to move forward from here. And I'm just going to show you the ratio, friends. This is the ETH BTC chart. This chart, okay, it was crashing on that big collapse that we just saw. This Evergrande, everything's going down. All the bad news, all the bad news, right, crashing down. And if you look at it, you think it's all over, okay? So go ahead. This is ETH BTC 0.062. But if you just change it to a weekly chart, which is W for friendship, I mean, look at it. It's just, look at that. I'm not joking. That's it. That's the candle. This is everything that happened. All of it. So, look, what I like seeing and what you want to see is you want to see small candles with huge emotional reactions, because that means weekends are like they're getting out. That's what it means, right? Why is everybody having an emotional reaction? It's because people were on leverage and they're trading and they got their stops got hit. That's why. They had a tight stop. That's why. So, I mean, like, look, you could have people who are like long. They're like, oh, yeah, it shouldn't break below here. And then that's what they expect, right? And just comes down and pokes them. So when you see in big emotional reactions and in this small type of actual candle, small price action, I think it's trying to tell us it's ready to move when the clouds start to move. When the clouds start to move, the prices will start to move. That's what the market's really trying to tell us, right? So if you were to use the complete opposite analogy, what about at the very, very tops? You could go back to the very, very top. If you remember here, the Coinbase top, okay? You can maybe even look at the smaller candles up here. Everybody was raving on about Coinbase, but it barely moved up the top. But everybody was so euphoric because everybody's expecting much higher that no one really took notice. And that's why we entered complacency down here, because we're like, wait a minute, how come all this good news is coming out, but the candles are going the other way? That's the complacency part. So we're hoping, praying, fingers crossed, that what we're seeing here is part of that hope and disbelief, the rinsing, right, in the washing machine. Remember, from the past cycles as well, this hope, we had hope we're going to break, no, disbelief. This was the depegging, by the way. And then hope up here, and then come back down. This was the disbelief again. This was the SEC coming out, attacking everything. Here we have hope. We have the Bitcoin ETF. And here we have, Elon Musk sells, right? Disbelief again. Now, I don't know where it's going to stop. But I'm showing you, look at this rinsing. Look at this, the washing machine. Hope and disbelief. Hope and disbelief. That's why you'll notice as well, all over Twitter, you're going to hear this from everybody. Everyone's going to say, man, I'm just really tired of this. I can't take it anymore. I've had it to wit's ends. I just want to give up. So that's normal. We've been here before. At least we've seen the price action of the past, friends. Don't forget, remember, BlackRock is a Trojan horse. You got to forget, the Trojan horse first has to convince you it's a gift. That's the Trojan horse part. They don't just go in and start destroying the village and the city and the castles. They don't go doing that. First, they give you a nice gift to enjoy. That's what ultimately we're playing for. Like, subscribe, bell button, all friends. Catch you next time.